Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer. Today we're actually having tea on Tuesday. This is the red tea caramel apple tea from Republic of Tea. I got this on Amazon. I will link it below if I can find it because it's old. So I have a boiling cup of water here and I have a giant cup of ice with a little bit of Splenda in it. I'm making iced tea out of this, so I'm going to use actually 4 bags for these little round sachets because that tea tends to be kind of on the weak side. And oh, that smells so good. And I want it to be real strong so that when it dilutes over the ice, it will taste good. So today, yes, it's Tuesday tea with cinnamon, but it's also Michael's Day. Now, if you guys watched my video last week, I went to my local Michael's. On the hunt for a yarn everyone says is in stock in their stores. And I went to my sad and pathetic Michael's and it was empty. It was so empty. And I went on michaels.com. They didn't have any of the yarn on their website at this time. And so I kept checking back every day. And then I checked back and lo and behold, they loaded the yarn on the website. And still said there's none in stock in my local location. There might be some in stock up in Stafford. I'm not driving on that freeway, the god-awful freeway, to go up and check on the odd chance it might actually be in stock. So, I also had quite a few of you post in the Facebook group that it's available online now. So I ordered some of the yarn. And in doing so, I ordered 2 types of yarn, which is in this really strange box. This is yarn. This is yarn. Why it's in this box, I have no idea. And the UPS driver who delivered it also thought it was going to be heavy because of the shape of that box, so he had to back in my driveway and then pretty much threw it on my porch because he realized, oh, this weighs nothing. Anyway, in doing that, I got a 30% off coupon, which for Michael's is pretty darn good because Michael's, their coupons have been garbage lately. And their prices are skyrocketing on a lot of things. And I hate coming on here and poo-pooing on Michael's because a lot of you love your Michael's, but also my Michael's store is really bad. I actually reported them to corporate because it was so bad. And I don't do that generally. I've only reported a store one other time because there was literal garbage all over the floor. And I videoed while we were in the store and I sent them the video. And that was a Joann's location. And that Joann's location was one of the first ones to close. Can I tell you that? My local Michael's store, I really think it's on its last legs. And I predicted this with AC Moore. I said, something's going on with AC Moore. Something ain't right because the yarn was just not coming in anymore. You know, and I kept saying it. Something's going wrong with AC Moore. I got a bad feeling. I think they're getting ready to close. And then within 6 months, the doors were shut. The store was closed. There was no announcement that they were closing. Like, they just closed my store. And I think my Michael's is going to follow suit. At least my local Michael's. Because there is never more than one person in the store working. At all. Ever. And most times that person is sitting on their butt on the ceiling, on the ledge, the sill next to the windows. Not doing anything because now that they have self-checkout, nobody's actually going to that cashier and checking out. I've never seen them filling orders. My orders take way a long time to get filled, and most times it gets canceled, or they'll cancel part of the order and then throw the part they canceled in the bag. Anyway, I don't know what is happening at my local Michael's. It's so bad. The Michael's towards the mountains is very clean. There's always a lot of workers in there. There's not a lot of yarn, and they never have the new yarn there. The one up north from me is in Stafford County, and they are nice, neat. They always get the new yarn. But I got to get on 95 to go there, and I really hate going to 95. So, I placed some yarn in my cart, and I wanted to get both of the new varieties because I want to say Premier Yarns. That's not Michael's. You should probably know this by now. Bought the intellectual rights and some of the brands of Joann's, and they bought some of the rights to the yarn. and they said that they were going to be bringing a bunch of new Joann's yarn to Michael's, and they're going to be our new central headquarters for yarn and all this other promises. My local store is not showing any evidence of anything except a whole bunch of empty shelves, which this has been going on for over a year at my local Michael's store. There's always more empty shelves than anything, and that's in all departments. We went in there one time last summer, and not only was there no yarn, but the entire back corner of the store, which used to be like paper goods, framing stuff, scrapbook stuff, like planner stuff, stickers, washi tape, that whole back corner was gutted. There was nothing in that back corner. This was last year. And then they replaced it with like kitchen utensils, like a can opener and spatulas and like weird crap. I'm like, what are they even doing? And it almost feels like Michael's has like feelers out trying to feel where they can make business. It just feels weird, okay? And my store seems to be like the guinea pig of that. The word is so bad, okay? So anyway, I placed my order. That's really, really hot. See, I have a whole bunch of ice in there to cool it down. We're just going to let it... It's been soaking for 6 minutes, so just a couple more minutes, because if you do it too long, it'll get bitter. So I put my yarn in the thing, and it says, you're, I don't know, $15 away from free shipping. And if I don't get free shipping, shipping is going to charge me like $18. And I was like, okay, that makes little to no sense. So let's add some more stuff in. So I ordered some kits. And then I ordered, because I was 7 cents away from free shipping. Where did I put them? Where did they go? Did I put them over here? I ordered Loops and Threads metal darning needles. Which I thought I sat right here. But when that almost fell over on me in yesterday's video, it probably fell. Anyway, those were 30% off too, so I paid 69 cents for 2 metal needles to get free shipping. So, I don't need to show you, they're basic, they're Loops and Threads darning needles. It's a pack of 2. I paid 69 cents with the coupon. The coupon on the website was online orders only, 30% off everything that was regular priced. They gave me 30% off everything I bought because it was all regular price. I bought 2 of their Amigurumi kits, and I've had mixed feelings about their Amigurumi kits because I made this little sleeping ducky right here from their kit. I made this little tiny sleeping dinosaur from their kit. And then, I made the lamb lovey from their kit. I hated the lamb lovey. I don't like looking at it, but she's been sitting on my desk, so apparently she wants to live here. Because I haven't got rid of her yet. The duck and the sleeping dino, I love the sleeping dino so much, I have rewritten the pattern to change some things that I wanted into this. And I've made 4 or 5 of these at this point. What I didn't love about the kit was this yarn. Not the fuzzy chenille yarn that's in those 2 kits, but this, it's not even acrylic. It's 100% polyester yarn. It's crap yarn. It is the lowest of the low grade of yarn. It feels like jute or twine. And it's polyester, but I'm thinking it's probably a really bad recycled polyester. And it looks like it might be a 3 weight, but when it stretches while you're working with it, it works out to be like a 2 or a 1 weight. Like it's real thin. So it hurts my hands to use it. So his feet and his arms were with just holding 1 strand together. And I held 2 together to make his face. And when I was ordering these kits, I was like, oh, they're so stinking cute. And I can use this and make Ponyo because that looks like Ponyo in a different color. And I have the Ponyo colored chenille yarn. These kits are $9.99. I got 30% off, so I paid $7, right? And he's just stinking adorable. He's just cute. And while I was ordering these, I was just thinking how cute the kits were. And I wasn't thinking about how garbage the yarn is in these. So the only thing I'm going to be able to use from the yarn is the stuffing. Because the yarn is that bad. And yes, there's a plastic, this is all in there. There's a plastic needle. The crochet hooks are actually not bad. They're a plastic crochet hook, but they work really good with the chenille yarn that came in these kits, and they're not bad. Like, I wouldn't buy them. They're dollar store quality plastic hooks, but they're not horrible, okay? But the yarn is, and it comes with eyes. The yarn's really bad. So did I just pay $7 for the pattern and the stuffing at this point? Yeah, because I'm not going to use the yarn. The yarn, I've opened these and I felt the yarn in both of them. It's really bad. It's the same quality as the lamb. I don't recommend these kits for Michaels unless you are willing to pay $7 for or $10 for just the pattern, which you get patterns very similar to these on the internet for free. I don't recommend these kits. And honestly, I'm thinking about returning them. And the only thing that's stopping me from returning them is I don't know if they're going to then backtrack and charge me what I got shipping for free. I don't know. So I ordered those, and then I'm going to dump my hot tea over my ice and try not to spill it on myself because this is real, real hot. This will work. Thanks, Eva. Spilled a drop. One single drop went out. All right. It's not quite a full glass, but that's okay. I don't need that much tea. Now this tea is, it says red tea, which means it's African rooibos tea. It's naturally caffeine free. So, got a little bit of tea on my desk. That's all right. This tea, glasses, Jen, glasses. Caffeine-free South African rooibos is the ideal base for smooth caramel and sweet apple flavors. This pleasing herb blend is wonderful as a dessert tea. Enjoy with a splash of warm milk. Oh, you know what I could put in here? I have some vanilla cream in here. I can put some vanilla cream in here. Yeah, I'm going to put some vanilla cream. I'll be right back. That is better than anything you've ever ordered at Starbucks. And it's not going to make my blood sugar go up. All right. Well, slightly, because cream does have like a little bit of carbs in it, but it's not, it doesn't have added sugar. All right, let's open this really ridiculous box. Now, if you know me, you already know what's in here, or you can at least guess. So, they announced, Michaels has been announcing and bragging that they're going to be releasing POSH, which is one of my new favorites that I discovered way too late when Joann's was closing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, there should be 6 skeins of yarn in here in this big ridiculous box. Now I do have some POSH right here. I'm going to compare it side by side and make sure they didn't change up anything, okay? On the floor. On the floor. And there's one stuck. Now, because they're almost the same color. Oh, they're 2 different yarn. Why is that so much softer? One is Cozy Cub and the other one is Posh Pearl. So, I never discovered the Baby Bear, I think it's called, from Premier Yarns. I think that's what it's called, Baby Bear. I only discovered the POSH after Joann's was closing because I'm gonna be real honest, I didn't like chenille yarns at all. I didn't like Bernat blanket style yarns at all. I never would have thought to buy any of these yarns, except my local Joann's, before they closed, had a fluorescent pink version, which I now have, which is right there. It was gifted to me. They had it in store for a while, and I just kept going, oh, it's so pretty, and it's fluorescent pink. And then I would touch it and go, nope, because I don't use that kind of yarn. I don't know what I would even make with that kind of yarn, because I was not making amigurumi at the time. Okay? So, I didn't realize I liked it until it was too late, and I made, where's my dinosaur at? I made a dinosaur. I don't know where he is. Out of the POSH from Joann's, and I was like, is this the best chenille on the market? Because it doesn't flake. All these amigurumi that you've seen I've made, I get up and there's fluff all over me from the ends disintegrating. And that's one of the things I hated about chenilles, because the ends tend to fall apart. The POSH doesn't do that. It does not do that. And it's really, it's got, instead of like some chenilles have more of a flat texture, this is like a perfect round tube, but it's not a tube. It's just like really tightly circular chenille. Okay, and it's thin. I think it's a 4-weight. Oh, see, Michael says it's listed as a 5-weight. Let me grab one with a label. Oh no, this is the hot pink I was telling you. See, my camera don't even know what to do with it. It's so hot pink. Hang on one second. We'll see if my camera will calm down. That's close, but it's not. I mean, it's fluorescent pink. Alright, and then we have the, she's so pretty, is she not? Alright, so yeah, this is a 5-weight too. So this is the big twist POSH. Loops and Threads bought it out, and it even says right on their website, this is POSH rebranded. They renamed it POSH Pearl. And looking, it looks identical. It looks absolutely identical. This feels more wound up tightly than the pink one, but I mean that could change from skein to skein. But this one's wound up kind of tight, and it feels exactly the same. Okay, so I'm super excited. When Joann's closed, like, that was one of the things I was the most upset about, is I just discovered POSH, and where am I going to get it? Because I searched the entire internet. What is similar to POSH? And there is not. They would say Premier Parfait. It's not the same as Parfait. I like Parfait a lot. It's soft. It works up beautifully. It sheds really bad on the ends. Like, it falls apart on the ends. And I've found workarounds to have that be less of an issue, but I also really like the bigger balls. So Parfait comes in a small ball. It's only 100 grams. These are 200 grams, so this is twice the size of a Parfait. And I'm not saying stop buying Parfait, okay? Because I have a whole bunch of Parfait. I bought some of the Stash Gold bags. I like it, but the POSH, I was so excited to see it. And not only that, the colors that I got are very pastel-y and beautiful and just pretty. These three specifically are just so pretty. They're so pretty. And I just was so excited to have more of the POSH. Do I like that it's $9.99 a ball? No, but I also had 30% off coupon, so I paid $7 a ball, which I think is much more reasonable. I don't remember how much this yarn cost at Joann's because, like I said, I only discovered it after everything was marked down for clearance for the liquidation sale. So this is absolutely POSH. This is absolutely Posh. And it feels the same. It looks exactly the same. It's beautiful, beautiful colors. And I would watch a lot of videos when Joann's was closing it, and I would see all these people, specifically in California, had a lot of Posh on their shelves. And people would get like the really pretty blues. And I was so jealous because my store had yellow and brown, which are not my favorite colors at all. And I still bought them because I can make ducks, you know? And then searching store to store to store, I found red, I found dark blue, I found gray. Cinnamon Stitches likes bright light colors. I love pastels, I love neons. So this makes me ridiculously, ridiculously happy that it's back. And it's back in pretty colors. And maybe we'll get some summer colors soon, because these are more spring colors. Maybe they'll bring back the fluorescence and the neons, because I would buy so much of the pink. So much. I would buy some. I would probably buy yellow because I have the green. But yeah, I would definitely buy more of the pink. I have 2 pink. I don't need more pink, but oh my god, they're pretty. All right, so what colors did I get? And then we'll go on the Cozy Cub, which is the baby bear one that's been rebranded. Because I bought 2 of those because I never felt, or I never even saw in store the baby bear. I never saw it in store. So I have no idea it even existed. I just kept seeing it pop up in people's videos that they were looking for the baby bear and they couldn't find it. Or, oh, I found baby bear. It's at this location in California. Kansas, maybe. I don't know. That tea is so good with that cream in there. Woo. It's just coffee creamer. It's, and I know this is so blasphemous to people in the UK. It's 0 sugar, vanilla coffee creamer, the liquid stuff. I have been making coffee for myself, iced coffee for myself on occasion, and it's decaf because I can drink decaf. And I make some for my son. We put the 0 sugar creamer in it, and it's really good because it's really hard to find stuff that doesn't have added sugars in it in public. And I've just been craving a good iced coffee, or a latte, or a frappe, or cappuccino, like. And I only have them once in a while. And I know that you can order them if you do X, Y, and Z, but this is so good. And that's tea. That's caffeine-free tea. It's so good. The caramel apple with the vanilla, is so good. Okay, so the colors that I got of the Loops and Fred, I blame you. He's making this, his name's Fred. I also sometimes call Lucas Fred. I've called him Fred since he came out. And Fred is a family name of really, really bad people in my family. So, like, I kind of don't like the name Fred. Or Freddy. Because I have an Uncle Freddy and a grandfather Fred who were the devil incarnate. But, whatever. Anyway, Loops and Threads. Posh Pearl. So, it's 233 yards, 7 ounces, 213 meters, 200 grams. And it has the French writing on it, which tells me you Canadians might actually get this in your store. Well, I mean, one can hope, right? If you're interested and you're in Canada. All right, this is the color. Why did I turn it? The color is up here. This is the color Blush. And it's, honestly, it's really close to Caucasian skin tone. And the reason I know that is because this is almost exactly the same color as the yarn I used for the boob pillow. And it's just giving me skin tone. So it's not, I wish it was more pinky and less peachy. But it's pretty, but it's not. Look at, these are some of the colors they have in store. I didn't see this color or that color, but oh, I would buy both of those. It says scan here for patterns. So scan there, see what happens. I don't think it's patterns for this yarn because Michael's doesn't have real good patterns. All right, and then we got this beautiful blue color. This color is, by the way, I didn't say it's 100% polyester. It's a bulky 5. Machine wash cold, do not bleach, dry flat, do not iron, do not dry clean. I'm using this for stuffies for animals, for amigurumis. So the washing instructions, like, I wouldn't throw an amigurumi in the wash. I would spot clean it, and yeah. This is the color blue. It just says blue. It's a very beautiful robin's egg. Well, not even robin's egg. Robin egg has a little more green tones in it. It's just like a powder blue. And it's very, very pretty, and it feels exactly like POSH should feel. This is the color. I'm going to guess this is mint. Yep, it's mint. It's the color mint. So I like holding similar colors side by side. See, now it looks more purple because my camera's like, wait a minute, what's happening? That's pretty accurate. It's blue and green. That's really, really pretty. And then last but not least of the POSH, I got the color lilac. And I just think that is so beautiful. I really like the lilac. Now, while I was watching somebody else's video, and honestly, I don't know who she is because sometimes I will search for stuff and I will come upon new channels and I don't take note of the channel name, and I don't even remember what the lady looked like or if I saw her face because I feel like she was just shopping in Michael's. It was showing in front of her. And I had to fast forward through part of the video because she was doing a lot of like micro adjusting, and she sped up the speed of the camera, and I was getting really motion sickness from her moving so much. So I don't know that I even saw her channel or her face. She showed 2 different colors of purple, and I was like, why is there 2 shades of purple? And then she looked, and this is a different yarn. So I wanted both of the purples to decide which one I liked better, and actually I like the POSH version better than the Cozy Cub. I think this is a prettier purple, and it's not showing up on camera. This is a much more pink purple, and this is a bluer grayer purple. Let's see if my camera will actually decipher the colors. Well, that's pretty accurate. So this one is POSH. This one is Cozy Cub. Now, what is the difference? They're both 100% polyester. The POSH Pearl has 233 yards. The Cozy Cub has 241. So it's got an extra couple of yards. They're both 200 grams. The POSH Pearl is a number 5. The Cozy Cub is a 6. Which, if you don't know, I get this question a lot. What does worsted weight mean? It's a 4-weight yarn. It is a measure of the thickness of how thick the yarn is. It is an average weight in the United States of yarn. It's the average thickness of yarn in the United States. The higher the number, the thicker the yarn is. A fingering or a number 1 is like really, really thin yarn that is usually made for shawls and socks. And then from there it goes up in thickness. 2 is a little thicker. 3 DK weight is a little thicker. 4 worsted is a little thicker. 5 bulky is thicker than the 4 worsted. A 6 chunky is thicker than the 5, and then we have 7, which is a jumbo, and 7 is just like a rope at this point. Okay, so the Cozy Cub in the skein, the Cozy Cub feels softer. And I think it's just because the texture of the yarn is smoother. So if you look real close, see how that's not quite smooth? It's soft, but this one has more of a smoother texture. This one, however, feels kind of like, it feels dry. In the sense that sometimes if you touch Bernat blanket yarn, it feels dry. Powdery almost. So it's soft. It's absolutely soft. But when you have sensory issues, sometimes you can pick up on a sensory that your average person is like, what are you even talking about? It feels dry. It feels powdery. Like baby powder was on it at one point and it feels dry. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if you know, you know. That's the best way I can describe it. It's not unpleasant. It doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies. It is absolutely going to give my niece the heebie-jeebies when I make her touch it later just to make her cringe, because that makes me laugh. Lilo, touch this. It's so soft. And every single time she goes... and I know exactly why, because it feels powdery. Okay, so that's the lavender color, not to be confused with the lilac of the POSH. And then I also got a blue. So this is the POSH. This is the Cozy Cub. The color is just ever so slightly duller in the Cozy Cub than the POSH. And 100% polyester. The Cozy Cub is a bulky, it says bulky 6, but actually it's supposed to be chunky 6. Machine wash cold, do not bleach, dry flat, do not iron, do not dry clean. This is the color light blue. And yeah, I think I pretty much covered all of that. It feels nice. It's just a little powdery. Now, are you interested in going to the table and working up a little swatch to see what this works up like so we can get an idea? Because I really would like to test the ends to see if they shed. And I would like to work up a small swatch of each of these side by side. So I got to move some of my makes because I just filmed one of the makes video. Put them down there. And the Cozy Cub calls for a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, which I think I'm gonna have to go to my drawer for. We're gonna do a 7, just cause. And the POSH Pearl, which is thinner, calls for an 8 millimeter crochet hook, but I know from experience you can use 6.5, so we're gonna use a 7 millimeter for both of these. And I think we're gonna crochet the purple. Now let's clear off the desk a little bit, because I have working projects on the desk. I have notes for the show on the desk. All right, let's flip the camera down and we'll work up little swatches and see what we really think. I just fake filmed an entire section because I never hit the record button. We're going to start with the POSH. I'm going to start with the POSH because that's what I'm familiar with. Like I said, I've never seen the Cozy Cub. And I'm going to repeat what I said when I pulled the center pull out of this. I was afraid to center pull because with the POSH yarn, I tried to center pull this one. And that's why it's balled up, because the whole inside of the ball came out and it was very hard to center pull. And you may very well have to outer pull with these, which is why we have the pendulum things with the, it's right there. It's behind my cup. Otherwise, you might end up with a big old mess, but I didn't have a problem center pulling this one. So that's a bonus. One of the things people were most worried about is this the same as the POSH? So I'm going to actually work them both up in a swatch together. Keep in mind, this one has been re-spun, so the texture of the yarn might look slightly different than this one that's been just caked up. They look identical. They feel identical. They feel like they're the same exact thickness. And also, I did the end test, which I'm going to redo for you because it didn't actually film because I forgot to push record. One of the main things with the chenille style yarns. You gotta work, baby? You gotta go to work? Alright. Alright, I had to bring Ponyo into my room because she's been a Grammys girl today. And she might whine because she's going to want me to pick her up, but I can't because I'm filming. Alright, so one of the things with chenille yarns is these ends on a lot of chenille yarns fall apart. They disintegrate when you try to sew in the ends. They disintegrate when you're working with it. And some chenille yarns also like shed. Now I'm going to show you what I already did. Okay, pull really hard. Nothing is coming off of the ends. Oops. And I'm being rough with it, okay? I'm going to turn the focus function off. There we go. It's doing a weird function thing that is an auto thing turns on. Anyway, it recommends for the POSH Pearl an 8mm crochet hook. But because I've made amigurumi with this before, I used a 6, I think. So I pulled the 6 out. 6 should work. And I'm just going to work up a basic swatch with single crochets because that's what I'm going to use this yarn for, is single crochets, because I'm going to make amigurumi. But I'm just doing a back and forth swatch instead of working in the round because I don't want to have to keep track and count and all that crap. So if you love POSH yarn and you've worked with it before, we're testing it to see if it actually is like that, which is the actual Joann's POSH. So I'm going to work up it together and see if it feels the same when working it up. See if it feels the same when in a swatch. I'm going to close my eyes and rub my hands along the swatch like I normally do to determine if it is the same, if I can feel a difference with it worked up. And this is generally the way I do a review. I do swatches. I tell you how it feels working up. Is it splitting? No, because it's chenille yarn, so it doesn't actually split. Is there drag on the hook? Not really. I mean, it's not as slick as a fine slippery wool, but there's not, like, it's not hard to crochet into. It's not draggy. I also find with this yarn, as opposed to some other chenilles on the market, that you can see the stitches a little bit easier than with a more furry, less rounded yarn. So you can very clearly see that there's a hole here and a hole there and a hole. Let me get a pointer. There's a hole there. There's a hole there. There's a hole there. There's a hole there. And that's where you stick your hook in. I think that's why a lot of people like the POSH. It also, you can see the stitches. So it works up kind of cool. Whereas some chenilles, there's not stitch definition. It's harder to see, especially with this black, is impossible to see where I was working in the stitches. This green, you can kind of see where the stitches are if you know what you're looking for, but a lot of times I have to feel for them. Whereas that is blatantly obvious where the stitches are at. And also working with a 6mm hook, there's not like holes or gaps where you're going to see the stuffing come through unless you pull real hard or you way overstuff it. Kanye, what are you doing? You getting into stuff? Are you being a sassy girl? Are you getting into stuff? Now, I know I'm going to get asked because not all of you can make amigurumi because of maybe hand issues, or you don't know how, or maybe you just have no wanting to ever make an amigurumi. What can you use this yarn for? This yarn is really good for home decor stuff, for squishy pillows. This is really good for pillows. It makes good blankets. Chenille makes good blankets if you use small stitches. If you use double stitches, and actually let's do the worm test on this while we're sitting here. When I use tall stitches with certain chenille yarns, just from wear and tear, maybe it got snagged on something, maybe it went in the washing machine. When you have the taller stitches like this, some chenille and blanket yarns will do what they call worming, okay? Even if your stitches are all tight, you'll get a piece that will just, oh, and see, this isn't even wanting to worm. Maybe? Yep, it does that. Just from normal wear and tear, okay? And it's just, putting it in the wash makes it even worse. Yeah. But down here, no matter what part I grab of the single crochet, oh, maybe it wormed a little bit right there. So it worms a little bit, but not as much as if you're using a tall stitch. So I always say, if you're gonna do a blanket or a pillow or anything like that with this yarn, use a shorter stitch, because those worms are impossible to fix, although the single crochet ones went back down. The double crochet ones will not go back in. It's just a mess. I just don't recommend using anything bigger than a half double crochet or taller. Don't do bobbles, none of that. It's gonna worm. It's gonna worm over time. And it's just the nature of the yarn. So single crochets, half double crochets will work, but single crochets are better for this kind of project, for this kind of yarn. So you can make blankets, you can make pillows, you can make stuffies, you can make baskets. All right, we're gonna put the green in. I'm trying to think of what else. Now, like I said, I never had any interest in any of this yarn until I started making amigurumi. And then when I made amigurumi, I was like, kind of love it. It works up really good. It's squishy. The thing I loved the most about it was that the ends don't fall apart. Because if you're sewing pieces together, like if you have to sew the arms on, or like you gotta sew the head to the body, depending on the type of pattern you're doing, if that end part is disintegrating while you're trying to sew it in and pretty soon there's just a string left there, I've had this happen more times than I can count. It is very frustrating. And it's happened to me with all brands of chenille yarns. And the POSH doesn't do that. You guys saw how hard I tugged on those ends. It does not disintegrate like that. It also is not shedding at all on my desk. There's no shedding. Oh, I banged you, sorry. Now, one of the things that can happen is there is a difference in feel from color to color. I do feel a difference between the Joann's POSH and the POSH from Michaels. It's slight, and it could just be from color to color. It feels different. No. The one from Michaels feels slightly different. And unless you have them side by side, you're not going to feel it. Or unless you've used so much POSH over the years that you know there is just the slightest bit of difference. It's not that it's not softer. It's not that one's softer than the other. And again, no, the green is slightly softer. This feels more plastic, but it's not bad. And I don't want to go back to it feels drier, but it does feel drier. It feels more, and I can feel it when I go like that. Let me close my eyes and try. Yeah. It's even making a different noise. Okay, this is the green. This is the purple. Green. Purple. It just feels drier. It's not scratchy, and it's not as dry as the Cozy Cub. And even the pink feels more like this than the purple. And again, it could be the color. It could be because these are fluorescent, these are neons. They might take a harsher chemical that softens the yarn more. That could be a possibility, but it's just ever so slight. And if you look at it, you can see a slight difference in the texture. So see, this looks more like the fibers are, I don't know. There's definitely a slight difference. Could be the coloring. It could be. Now, does it frog? Yeah, it frogs. It frogs pretty good. And as you can tell, it's not shedding on the desk. Oh, this one sheds rougher. And it's louder. So that, you see that it's coming, it's louder, and it's, you guys can, I know you can hear it. It's stiffer coming out. And that tells me that that is proof that there is a difference in the texture of the yarn. That it's not just me being weird. Is it just as good? Yeah. Do I still want to buy some? Yeah. Do I still recommend it? Yeah. It's still good. I should have left that though. And showed you the purple compared to it, but it'll be fine. I got carried away with the frogs. Kept rip it. Alright, now we're going to do the Cozy Cub. Because in the skein, like I said, this feels drier, but it feels a different kind of soft. Okay. And I'm worried about that end. I'm worried about that end. Let's see if we can find a center without taking out the whole center. Yeah, this one don't want a center pull. The POSH came out so easy. I should have known better. Let's try from the other side. Nope. It's a tangled mess in the middle. Alright. I hate outer pulling. I hate it because then I gotta take my label off. And because I'm not using this right now, I don't want to do that. I absolutely cannot get the center out. Alright. I had a yarn baby, but it'll be fine. This one, because it's a 6 and it feels way fluffier. See, that's what was in the middle that I could feel. It was a tangled mess. But, fair warning, these yarns don't like to be center pulled. They don't. So sometimes I will come and just take a section off. Like if I know I'm making an amigurumi, I will take a section off and take it with me instead of the whole giant ball. And then I will work from a ball like I did with the green. Because then you have to sit and untangle it, and I hate untangling yarn. Tanya's being a good girl. She's laying on the rug, minding her own business. We had a couple videos I filmed this week. It was the members video and the Monday Makes video. She was like, no, Grammy, you need to pay attention to me right now. And now that her mommy has gone to work, she's usually even more demanding. She just wants all Grammy's lovin's. She's such a good dog. And Benny we've been working on his training so much, and he's becoming less reactive to the kids next door that were being real mean to him, so that he has less opportunity to be hurt. Which is just fantastic. Alright, so man, I probably could get away with using a 6. I just feel like the 7 is going to work better for this yarn. The way that I test if a yarn is going to work good with a hook or not is to see if it fits in the throat. Okay, so if it fits in there and there's not overhang, see how that's overhanging? I know that it's a good match for the yarn. Even though this one recommends 6.5 millimeter, this is a 7, so it's close enough. Oh, we gotta do the end test, hang on. So the end of this one is more of a flat, whereas, oh, sorry, we're too close. This is more of a flat chenille. This reminds me more of the parfait, whereas the POSH is more of a tube. I don't know if that's going to come across on camera, but this is more flat. This is more circular. So if I turn this around, it's much more of a tube, okay? Whereas when I turn this one around, this is a flat side, that's a flat side, okay? Now, here comes the part that really irritates me when it falls apart. Oh! What? I thought for sure this one was going to shed. And I'm pulling hard. I'm getting little pieces, but I'm yanking it. Nothing. Alright. Well, the Cozy Cub / Old Baby Bear passed that test. Oh, this one feels much less dense, less as squishy. So the other one feels almost like a sponge. Like when you work it up, it almost feels like it has a spongy texture. This does not. This is just soft. And it feels kind of drapey. So I'm thinking for an amigurumi, it's definitely going to be better to go for a smaller, because I can see holes. Let's go down a hook size and see what happens. What's the matter with my poncho? I should probably keep snacks or dog treats in here for when she gets all upset. Oh, it's making a much more rubbing noise. With the metal hook, which is weird. Because usually if it's going to make a squeaky noise or a rubbing noise, it's usually with the resin hooks. This one is very... I'm going to try to talk over it because some people can't stand that sound. But if you can hear it still and you can't stand it, go ahead and put on closed captionings and mute me. And especially if Ponyo's whining is getting on nerves, because I predict she's going to keep whining until I'm done. She wants Grammy to give her attention. Baby girl! Where's the baby girl? Yeah. So 6mm is better for amigurumi because it's less drapey. It is definitely less spongy than the pearl. And it does have a dry feeling, which I know that you can hear. And I put on lotion today, so it's not that my hands are dry, it's that that's just the texture of this yarn. So it reminds me kind of a little bit softer version of Bernat blanket yarn. I feel like it's if Bernat blanket yarn and Parfait had a baby is what this cozy cub would be. Ponyo! Ponyo, Ponyo, little fishy in the sea. You a good girl? Good as can be. She can hear a little man in another room. Don't tease her. It's a really pretty purple too. It's not as pretty as the pearl. And then you can bark. But it is pretty. I wonder if I have... This is similar to, in color, to the purple I got from the stash bags. Nope, it's not. This is the purple I got from the stash bags. That's the purple. Yeah, they're all three different colored purples. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. I've been digging on the purple lately. I've been getting all kinds of purple yarn. And I don't generally wear purple or use purple. Ironically enough, because my hair's been purple a bunch of times, but yeah, this is nice. So like I said, I never use the baby bear. It is dry and powdery feeling a little bit, but it's not bad enough that I don't want to wear it. And if the sound bothers me of crocheting it, I would just put headphones on while I'm working with it. That's what it looks like worked up. And that's just single crochet because once again, this style of yarn is just, it's known for, and it's any kind of chenille yarn, velvet yarn, parfait, cozy cub. Like if it's this kind of yarn, it can tend to worm up like I showed you. And there's no fixing it once it starts to do that. So just smaller stitches is what you want to do. I also like the way the stitches look in this yarn. And I know it's looking blue on camera because my camera is trying to make sense that the blue is too blue. Because if I put something pink on camera, it'll look more purple. I don't know why it auto does that. Actually, I don't even, it looks kind of gray on camera. There, that's No, that's not accurate. It's still looking more blue. Yeah, my camera's just trying to make sense of it. It's a pretty purple. You'll have to trust me on it. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that these are both available at Michael's now. I'm glad that they have the options back for the Baby Bear and the Pearl, even though they renamed it Cozy Cub and Posh Pearl. But I'm glad it's back available to us, and the pastel colors are I'm here for right now. They also had like white and black and yellow and different colors. I'm really, really hoping that Michael's brings back the fluorescents and the neons though, because that will make my heart so, so happy. And oh, the Posh Pearl and, the Posh Pearl and Variegated would be so cool. So if Michael's is listening, please do that. And please fix my local store. Thank you for this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have you worked with either of these yarns? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.